Welcome back to the channel. We appreciate you being here. Steve has talked about a couple of issues that really struck home with me and actually a lot of expats, and that is the quickness of relationships here in the Philippines. And with that being said, I don't think that we've talked about this other issue that is far more reaching. It's the outcropping of what happens with fast relationships. And that's thinking with the wrong head. I met a guy here in Thailand, an expat. He is closer to 70 than not. He's lived all over America, Texas, Oklahoma, and he's just a great guy. Rides motorcycles. So I started to hear about his story because he was literally bouncing around all these countries. He'd do a month here, and I asked him why. Well, come to find out, we're going to call my friend Bobby. Come to find out that Bobby has 2 kids. Now, he's closer to 70, like I said, than not. And he has 2 kids here in Asia from 2 different mothers. Now, before you get all judgy, stuff happens, it occurs. And especially, I won't say when you're thinking with 2 heads. However, I dug into Bobby's story and I said, how did this happen? How did a man close to 70 end up with 2 children, one 9 and one 6, a girl and a boy? And I saw what it was doing to him. And what I mean by that is that Bobby's a good guy. He is not I hate to use this term in production, but a gun and run. He had these children and he took responsibility, and he still does. And the toll, that's really what I want to talk about with you, that when you think with the other head, there is far-reaching, everlasting consequences that a lot of times people don't think about. So I pushed him on this issue. I said, dude, how did this happen? I mean, don't you know how this occurs? And he laughed a little bit and he said, yeah, I know. But let me tell you, it wasn't, to him, it was just heartbreaking. So he had one date with a girl and it went well. And so they hit it off for this one date. And then they kind of, she went her way, he went his way. And then 4 months later, she contacts him. It's a common story we hear a lot. By then, he had met another woman, a Thai woman, younger than him. And he ended up getting married. So the other girl calls back and says, hey, I'm pregnant with your baby. And he, of course, verifies. And I would suggest that with anybody, you verify. And a lot of people will, I'm sure in the comments, say, oh, you have to verify. And you do. So the point of the story is that he now has a 6-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. And so he takes care, gives child support, sees them both in different countries. He said that the second child, the 6-year-old girl, and that's the one that really strikes me, because he had to be in his early 60s when he fathered that child. And he thought he was going to be married forever. She was younger. And so she grew up differently, different ways. When we're in this twilight stage, or Steve calls it God's waiting room. I don't like that, but that's what Steve calls it. We have different priorities. It's nappy time. It's, all those kind of things that it's taking it easy, really. And so I have seen my friend Bobby just tormented and torn apart. We'll be at dinner and his 6-year-old will call him and say, hey, Daddy, what are you doing? I'm thinking about you. And I could just see in his eyes what it does to him. It makes him, it just breaks his heart. So the whole point of this video is that when we think with our other head, like I said before, it can have long-reaching consequences. I'm going to put some information up here that I was quite startled about, the number of orphans. And then I was also quite taken back by the number of fatherless children in America. Now, I don't know how the metrics they're using, because my parents got divorced when I was in my teens, early teens. So I don't know if that's considered fatherless. I don't know. To me, it felt like fatherless. I don't really know if it's considered that, though. And my father was engaged somewhat. God rest his soul. The point being is that this man is doing the right thing, and it is literally aging him in front of my eyes. I've known him a half a year. He bounces around, spends a month with this child, and he's trying to do the right thing. So the point of the story is, when you come here, think long and hard about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. When I was in America, I had cancer. I had a certain kind of cancer, so I can't have children. And so I'm maybe going 6 or 7 years. And the reason I'm so vague about it, because I don't like to think about it. So I'm going at least 6 years cancer-free. And the point is, I can't have children. And the point is, in that 6 years, you guys, I've had 2 women call me up and say, hey, I missed my period. And I responded back with, hey, it's not me. So I know that I won't be having children. And I have mixed emotions about it. And I don't know where you come from. I don't know where you're at on this issue. All I'm saying is that when you come to Asia, whether it's Philippines or Thailand, think about the relationship. Think about where it's going to lead you. Do you want kids? So maybe you want kids. And some guys, I mean, I know that Steve is great with kids. He loves kids. Other people, one of my friends, they're okay with them. Some won't even. I have one friend that if they have a kid, he won't even date them. So I think that's kind of rash, because there's just so many at our age, unless you're dating young, it's going to be really tough to find somebody, even if you are dating young. I mean, I met a girl. I mean, I wasn't dating. I just met a friend. She's 28 years old with 4 kids. And I'm thinking, wow, that's crazy. Anyway, that's good for her. The point of this video is just think. Think with the right head, and you'll have a great time here. This is Rich in Thailand and the Philippines. Have a great day.